Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for mid-July 2025. You have this devotion card and this friendship card. I love this devotion card. It's very cute. You know, it's like a bird grieving the loss of a dead bird. It's like till death do us part here. So I don't know. It's just very romantic to me. There, Cancer. That's it. And so, again, you have that friendship card as well. So if you're looking for love, definitely, this could be like a, thing where like a friend turns into a lover. Or maybe this has already happened, for some of you, obviously. For others, again, I think that you could be meeting a person where it's like, maybe it starts a little bit like friendship-y, kind of like a friendship. Although I think both people want more. It's not, I'm not trying to say like, oh, you only want to be friends with this person, right? But but then it kind of goes from there is what I'm trying to spit out. I also think, but again, this could be something where it is a friend and a lover, right? Where it's like much deeper than just a love connection. So if you want love, this looks good as always with you, Cancer. I mean, I think it's natural to attract love when you have Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter is definitely like a love planet, so it can bring in love just into your life in general, right? And so there you go. It's like some people believe that, Jupiter is your husband as well. So like if you're looking for a husband or, Venus is your wife. And so if you look at your chart and you look at where Jupiter is or Venus is, depending on what you want, that could be the sign of the person that you will marry as well. Is it true? I have no clue. You have the Ten of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Hermit. The Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening for you. Again, if you want love, looks amazing. Definitely could be a very strong connection that comes in for you this month. Even though it's a Mercury retrograde, again, doesn't matter. As I always say, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But that's the other thing is, again, you have this friendship card. So it's like maybe you just start right now slowly during the retrograde and you don't do anything to make it, love. And then after you do, right? So this could be you just getting to know a person as well, but that looks amazing. You have the Four of Swords. Yeah, it's an amazing healing retrograde, I would say. Leo, we have the retrograde's happening in Leo, and Leo is our life force. It is our, our vitality, right? And so I think it is a kind of like a good time to heal. I think it's a good time to recharge our batteries and to kind of like, just recharge our batteries, right? I would definitely do that. I also feel that if you're asking for something, I feel it's time to like get started. You always get this card with me. I'm always saying to you, Cancer, that it seems to me like you're getting something you wish for, but it's like I feel like the first step has to happen or something. It's like you have to take action towards this, or I don't know. I don't know. You have to do something to get this moving is what I would say with the Four of Swords. But there you go. You have the Hermit. You have the Hermit to the Judgment card going up right here. The Judgment card is more loud, and like I've been saying this for the past couple of months, is that with all this energy in Aries, it is very loud. It is, especially Saturn in Aries, I feel is like a very loud energy. I think people need to like speak up, put themselves out there more. And it's like the people who are that bold are going to be the people who are going to be successful. And I've had a lot of people say that, like, oh, I'm shy. What what do I do? I'm like, well, you don't have to like completely change who you are, right? But it's like, but you can take little tiny steps, right? You can do tiny little things to not necessarily blend into the background, right? You can do tiny little things to take up more space in your own little way. But I would be, it's like like the thing about the Hermit is like, let's look at this from a spiritual perspective, right? He's been through a dark night of the soul, and he has earned something by climbing to the top of this mountain, that his inner light. So, it's kind of funny because what's funny to me about the Hermit is that right now we have the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces. South Node in Virgo people, like people who are born with the South Node in Virgo, it's like they usually had something happen to them in a past life where they retreated to the top of the mountain, they became the Hermit, and they kind of allowed the world to make them go into isolation, and instead of sharing their gift with the world. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to come down from the mountain and share his gift with the world. He needs to shine his inner light no matter what, right? And I kind of feel that for you here, Cancer, where it's like saying you need to come share your gift. And that's that. With the Ten of Cups, you have the World. Are you kidding? You have the World twice, which is funny. And, I was saying you have to share your gift with the world, so I definitely feel that. This could also be, if you're looking for love, it could be a person from like a distance. I don't like feel a ton of distance here, although maybe for some of you. Usually, like the world is a ton of distance, but, whatever. With the Four of Swords, you have the Fool. Yeah, time to take a leap of faith. It's time to stop dreaming, like I said, with that Four of Swords. That's basically where I was going with that, is that you've been asking for something, but now it's time to like grab onto it and make it happen. It's time to like kind of claim your blessings here, and that's what I would do with the Fool card. The other really funny thing that I get here is you have the Judgment card right next to the Fool card, and the Fool, he has these like tattered sleeves on his cloak, right? They look ripped up, these sleeves. And sometimes I feel that the tattered sleeves basically say that he has been on this journey before. In the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as a Fool. So it's like saying to me that you are about to go on a journey that you've been on before, but this is probably a good thing. Because he's been on a journey before, like he's about to do something again in his life, there's nothing for him to worry about. He knows exactly what to do. And so if you're about to do something again, right, especially with the Judgment card, because Judgment can kind of sometimes be like a second chance or doing something again, I feel like you need to know that you have all the answers. With the Hermit, you have the Strength card. Yeah, it's like, this is your moment, is what I feel like saying. It's like, this is the moment you've been waiting for. I don't know, that's a weird freaking message that I'm getting there, Cancer. But, again, this could be the moment you've been waiting for here with the Hermit and the Strength card. So, yeah, I really don't know what else to say there. But there you go. The Strength card could be saying that you have the strength necessary to show off. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this No Place Like Home card and this TikTok card. So you have the world twice. And again, the world can definitely be where you are in the world. And some of you could be thinking about moving. The No Place Like Home card basically says that you are staying home. But, in a lot of ways, you could be thinking about changing your home or finding a new home, which could be something that you're just thinking about for a little while here, Cancer, into the future. Some of you could be like more exploring. I get this feeling a little bit of like Groundhog's Day with this No Place Like Home card. Not like bad, but just where maybe you've gotten into a little bit of a routine where you are, and you're just like saying every day is the same, and maybe you're just looking to mix up the routine. I think that would be good. I don't even think you have to move, obviously, to do that. You can just do different things during your day, right? But I do feel like some of you are kind of like looking for a mix up here. Like I said, I don't really think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think you're just looking for something new, in your day to day or whatever you want to call it. You have the World, the Judgment card, and the Six of Swords. The World can represent an accomplishment or an achievement. And again, it's interesting to go from the Fool to the World very quickly, which is actually very positive because it can say that you're accomplishing something very quickly. You're taking a leap of faith, or you have taken a leap of faith, and you're jumping into success more quickly, which is great, or you're jumping towards something very quickly with this World card. So I feel pretty good about that. I also feel that you need to use your powers of manifestation a little bit more. She has these two wands. She is a sorceress. She literally can create worlds. And I feel like you need to believe that, Cancer. Like, I feel like you need to believe that you can create worlds, in your life. And that's it. You have the Judgment card. Judgment is like a wake-up call in a lot of ways. I don't really feel a wake-up call. I feel more just a sense of urgency on this card. That's what I'm getting intuitively. Number one, like, don't panic, right? So if you feel like you're running out of time, especially this week. Today is July 11th, so this video will be published on the 12th. If you're watching this the 12th or the week of the 14th, which is, next week or whatever, I would say like this, this kind of 10 days or so, however many days it is, I don't know. I can't count, right? I failed math my whole life, but what I would say is, like, from whenever you watch it till the end of the week of the 14th, if you're feeling a sense of urgency, number one, I would be kind to yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. But I would also say that even tiny little actions at this time will be better than no action, right? We have Mercury going retrograde on the 17th. Or the 18th, depending on where you are in the world, because it's happening East Coast time. It's happening like at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it's like 12:50 in the morning on the East Coast that the Mercury goes retrograde, right, of the 17th or whatever. and or the 18th, sorry. And so there you go. But what I would say is don't beat yourself up. But if you could just get one little thing started before the 17th, that would probably be good. Especially if you're feeling a sense of urgency. Maybe you're like, oh my God, I have this business idea, but I don't have enough time, and blah blah blah. I would say just do one little tiny thing, right? Plant that seed now, because if you do it now, then it doesn't matter that the Mercury's retrograde, right? Same thing with love. It's like plant that seed now. Even though I still believe you should take your time during this retrograde, whatever, plant the seed now so that you don't have to wait. Next, you have the Six of Swords. A lot of improvements the second half of this month. I have a sneaking suspicion. You're only the second reading I'm doing, but I have a suspicion that a lot of people will get Six of Swords. Number one, we have a very positive moon at the end of the month, which I feel is rather positive on the 24th. I just kind of think we're heading towards little improvements, things getting better. Again, I think there's plenty of chaos still in the world, especially when we get to the eclipses, but, in September. But what I would say is that I think on a personal level, we have the opportunity to create a lot of success for ourselves, a lot of forward momentum. The other thing is that this is an action, right? I think everybody right now should be looking at things that slow them down, looking at things that they want to improve, and find an improvement. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. With the world, you have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I would be careful of any burdens. I do think no is an important word right now, especially for water signs. Water signs can't say no, right? So I'm a Pisces. I totally get it, right? And so I think Cancer can be very similar. So I think you need to learn the word no if you don't know it. And you need to make sure that, you just need to know that you only have so much time in a day that you can give to yourself and that you can give to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. And, I would make sure that you're kind of drawing those boundaries. With the Judgment card, you have the Devil. Yes, I would be careful of any past devils. Every single person that I've read for has had something about people from the past coming back and things like that. Like in the July readings I did, in the next 3-month readings I did. So I would be careful of any past devils. Now, doesn't have to be a bad thing here, Cancer, because we have the Justice card. I mean, this literally could be like an apology, or someone giving you an apology or whatever, coming in for you with the Justice card, which is fine. And again, there's nothing wrong with burying the hatchet. I think I said in one of the readings, it might have been to you, in the July reading, that I said, it is a good time to bury the hatchet. I think if there was ever a time where we could, really actually forgive and move on, people say they forgive and move on, but they don't, it's if there was ever a time where we actually could do that, it would be right now, right? And so that's something that I would pay attention to here. I also think you need to be careful of what you pay attention to in the world. I'm going to get a little conspiracy theory on you here. We have the inverted pentagram above his head, and that is the devil. The devil is the inverted pentagram, because the devil is that's how the devil kind of controls, by showing the inverse of things, right? And so I would be careful of what you're listening to in the world, and what you're feeding yourself, what information you're feeding yourself. I would make sure you're paying attention. With the Six of Swords, you have the Three of Swords. Again, actually could be good, because, this would say that, again, you are probably healing from something from the past. So some of you could be healing from something from the past, or letting go of something. We even have the Three of Swords here in the good stuff. And the Three of Swords in the good stuff is about forgiveness. Three of Swords not in the good stuff is about forgiveness, I always say tarot, I think people look at tarot, they're like, how can you say the Three of Swords is good? I'm like, well, tarot isn't good or bad. It is energy to work with. You can choose to work with it or not, right? And so the Three of Swords says forgiveness is what is the energy we have to work with to get this to work. And that's what I always try to tell people. It's my readings aren't really, maybe they seem positive, but that's because I choose to look at the solutions of the cards, right? To me, I am a solutions-based reader. I'm not positive or negative, even though maybe I come off as super positive, but, maybe to a fault. But really, it's because I know that, number one, tarot astrology doesn't control your life. You do. So you can take these actions and create the improvement. Just that simple. And that's what I would do, is I would practice forgiveness. I would heal yourself with this card. And that's the action that I would take. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Review Your Responsibilities card. It says, not all responsibilities are ours to hold. You have this card. It says, Ten of Wands. You are enough. You don't have to give more, right? Are you kidding me? I literally said that on that card, but I'm laughing at this one because it says not all our responsibilities are ours to hold. The Ten of Wands says that. That's literally what the Ten of Wands says, right? Is that we have enough responsibilities in life to deal with on our own, and we don't have to carry everybody else's. So learning the word no is important. This card says you do not have to give more. I literally said that on the Ten of Wands, something similar. So, again, I think you need to believe that with what you have to offer is more than enough in life, and that's all that matters, right? You have the Justice card, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. I do feel like some of you literally could feel like you are getting justice, especially if it's an ex coming back. Again, I'm not saying go back to an ex or anything like that, but what I am saying is that this looks like an, Hermit, Strength, Judgment, Devil, this card. This looks like an apology or something like that coming in. So a lot of you could be receiving an apology. And again, I think, like I said, it's a good time to bury the hatchet. It's a good time to say, you know what? I forgive you, it's fine, I move on, right? Or something like that. It's a good time to create that level of balance in life, and that's exactly what I would do. The other thing I would say with Justice and the Ten of Wands is that we really have to pay attention to what works with the Ten of Wands and Justice together, because we could be putting energy into things that just aren't worth it, right? So we need to make sure, and I'm speaking very generally because it could be any area of your life. It could be in work, it could be in business, it could be with people. You really have to look at what is burdening you and say, is it worth it or not? Or is there a better way I can do things? And we are in a time where we should all be looking for better ways. You have the Five of Cups. Yeah, someone might have regrets here, Cancer or something like that. So, I don't know. I would just be careful of that energy. I would also focus on the new. I think two cups behind you, right? With this bridge and this castle over here. I think it's also interesting that we have two cups here on the Temperance card. So again, it's kind of like, the Temperance card is a good mixture. And, in love, it can be patience, but it can also say that you're finding a person who is a good mix with you. Maybe the two of you create magic together as well, because the Temperance card is alchemy. He is a little bit magical. He can turn water into wine. So there you go. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is change in direction. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at these Seven Pentacles saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep putting time, effort, energy into these Seven Pentacles, or is there something else that is better that I could be doing with my time? And I don't know, I can't answer that question for you here, Cancer, but definitely something I would think about with that card. With the Justice card, you have the Eight of Swords. It could be some sort of self-imposed restriction that you're setting yourself free from, or some sort of prison. So a lot of you I actually feel pretty good about this Eight of Swords. Like, I feel like you're setting yourself free, or you're removing yourself from something that has been keeping you stuck for a long time. And yeah, I just think it'll be a good thing. This retrograde, again, this Mercury retrograde in particular, I do think is a good time to kind of clear things out. Mostly because, by the way, we're going to have Jupiter next year is going to be in the same part of the sky, and it's going to retrograde as well in the same part of the sky, which is pretty freaking crazy because we had Mars go retrograde there, we have Mercury going retrograde in Leo, and then we're going to have Jupiter going retrograde in Leo. I don't know, pretty crazy. So, definitely something, and I'm talking about in the future. So again, it's like you want to release things now so you repeat them, right? And so there you go. But I think you are. I'm not worried about it. With the Five of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. I do think if you want new love that it is a risk. There is a little bit of a risk here, Cancer, it feels like to me. I feel like I've been saying this to you as far as love is concerned, because, I don't know, I just feel like it feels like a little bit risky. I don't know, love is a risk, right? I mean, love is irrational. The fact that you are expected to be with a person for the rest of your life and be perfectly happy, it's like, I don't know, it seems a little bit illogical to me. But I think it's worth it, right? I think it's worth it to try to make it happen. But I think it's a little silly, right? In some ways. So we're all trying to do something crazy when we're looking for love. I think understanding that and looking at it that way and just saying, I'm just going to try to make this work for as long as I possibly can, right? I think that type of attitude with a person, especially if you're meeting a new person, is going to make it last forever, right? I think it's like Esther Hicks, right? Who says, I'm not sure who it is actually, so don't quote me on this, but someone says, they basically say, when you enter into a relationship, you should just say, hey, let's let this work until it doesn't, something along those lines, right? And I always thought that was probably the best way to do it, because then you're not putting all your BS on the other person, they're not putting all their BS on you, and it probably just makes something last forever. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, no rushing at this time. Again, no jumping into conclusions here with this right here. With the Devil, And, the Knight of Swords is an energy of jumping to conclusions, which I would be careful of. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Bear Tree. It says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that's clearly not bearing fruit. This is coming up in the good stuff, which is good. But Ten of Wands, Eight of Swords, Justice. It's like, again, Ten of Wands could be wasting time. It can be being burdened by something that isn't giving a result. That's why we have Justice, because Justice is cause and effect. It says, are you getting a result from what you're doing? And again, I think a lot of you are making those changes. Like if you're not getting a result on something, you're probably going to stop, which is good. You have the Stag Spirit. It says, you are meant for great things. Trust in all that you have to offer. Yes, I think you need to believe that you are meant for great things, that good things, that you deserve good things as well. I really feel that for you, Cancer, that you need to believe you deserve good things and that you have earned the right to have good things in your life. And, that's what I would really pay attention to. Again, you need to say you are enough. I think you always get this card with me whenever I use this deck or something similar. Even the Moonology deck, right? Like I haven't used the original version in a while, but I seem to remember in the past that in the original version of Moonology, there is a card that says you are enough. And I think it's like one of the Virgo cards, right? And so you always get this stuff with me, Cancer. And I think you need to, like, half the battle is like this with you is, you are meant for great things. Trust in all that you have to offer. You have to believe it, right? You have the Temperance card, the Three of Swords, and the King of Swords. Temperance is like cause and effect, kind of like Justice, because he's trying to turn water into wine. It's also a card of patience. I think your patience is about to be rewarded is really what I feel with this card. Or it's like you're about to get something you've been patient for. He has this glowing crown. This is the path to glory right here. He's about to go get his crown. So I feel pretty good about that. You have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be like a heartbreak or separation or sadness, but again, in the good stuff, it would be healing. Like I said, I feel everyone is healing right now because we have South Node in Virgo. It's like one of the things that we probably do when we have South Node in Virgo is just heal from things and let them go, right? So there's really not much to say. You have the King of Swords. King of Swords, like knowledge and wisdom. King of Swords, number one, says that you probably have a lot of knowledge and wisdom that can make you very successful at this time. And I would make sure that you are using what you know at this time, Cancer, because I think it'll make you very successful. Also, you are meant to glow at this time because of Jupiter in your sign. Like, you are meant to take up space. You are meant to expand. And so a great way of doing that is to take what you know and put it into practice, right? And, turn it into something. It's almost like the King of Swords to me is a card of the mentor. And I kind of feel like you are becoming a mentor to people, and that's what you could be working on. With the Temperance card, you have the Six of Swords twice here. So we go Six of Swords up to the Six of Swords. Definitely moving on to calmer shores. Definitely improvements coming in for you. So I feel this is just like general improvements with that card. With the Three of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is conflict or competition, but, again, this is what you could be healing. It's like maybe you were in conflict with a person. Doesn't even have to be love. It could just be like a person that you do love, like a friend or someone that you're close with. And you could be, healing that connection or, you could be kind of like letting it go or whatever the case may be. If a person caused conflict in your life, they could be coming in and apologizing for it. So, like I said, definitely something to think about. With the King of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure I say this in every single one of your readings now. Something is getting harder to ignore, right? He has these waves behind him. And those waves, they start small, but they get bigger as they go across the card. So, again, to me, the Two of Pentacles sometimes can say that there's something that is calling your attention that's getting harder to ignore. And, he might be distracting himself. This is a card of spinning plates, like doing too much at once and trying to distract yourself. So, I feel like whatever you are thinking about that's getting harder to ignore, you either need to, put energy into it or make it happen instead of, trying to distract yourself from it. The Two of Pentacles also is a clue card to me. Now, there are some cards in the tarot I call clue cards, and they're like a clue for something happening. And so, the Two of Pentacles to me could be like a clue of a settlement, but this could be like a settlement from the universe, meaning that universe owes you energy or owes you karma or something, and you could be getting that positive karma right now. You have this Sunrise card. It says, new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. Yeah, we have a lot of fresh start energy here. World to Fool to World. It's like you ended a journey with the world, you started a new one with the Fool, and you're ending another one just as quickly. So, a lot of you could have a lot of this, fresh start, new energy coming up for you. You always get this card with me, which I don't even know how it's possible, although I do shuffle this deck, before I start my reading. So this one, the Tea Leaf Oracle. But you have this time to act card. So I'm pretty sure you get these cards that basically say it's time to act, which I did say during this reading, that it's time for you to like make a move, plant that seed before the retrograde, whatever seed you want to plant. And if you do that, it will grow. You have this April card and this fair band. It says dealings or relationships with a man with blonde or gray or white hair. I feel like this could be something you're releasing as a person like this. I feel like you're finally releasing a person for some of you, honestly, is what I feel. Like, for some of you, it's like maybe you released this person like 4 years ago, but it's like maybe you're actually releasing them now is kind of what I feel. So I don't know. That's just what I feel on this card. I have nothing. I thought I was going to say something else, but I'm not. You have this August card in this well. It says family wishes come true. Yeah, really good family time. You have the Ten of Cups, which is amazing for family. And so anything that you're hoping to do with your family, or maybe you're going on vacation with your family or spending time with your family, all that stuff would be very good. If you want to have a family, you could be finding a person, or you could already be with a person that you are having a family with. Again, Jupiter and Cancer. Cancer is children. And, I think that Jupiter and Cancer makes perfect sense to me, that a lot of people would be starting families and things like that, or caring more about the family. Honestly, I think this is just the beginning. So there you go. You have this flag card. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yes, you are enough for whatever you're thinking. Like, part of me always wonders, Cancer, if, like, you have this idea of something that you want, but you just think you're not good enough, but you actually are. So I think you need to go for it, and don't lower your standards. Go for the gold, right? But this looks pretty good, Cancer, so thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.